have been talking a lot about Cubans, specifically in Florida, that want to do a regime change in Venezuela. And thankfully, we have a congresswoman from Florida who is just saying the quiet part out loud about the actual truth, about why the United States needs to go into Venezuela and, do regime change. This is Maria Elvira Salazar, and she is a representative for Florida's 27th Congressional District since 2021. She is also the Republican Assistant Whip, and this is what she said a couple of days ago.
I mean, I would love to see a change in government. My wife's from Nicaragua. We know how terribly the dictators there rely on Venezuelan oil. But at the same time, a lot of Americans don't want actual U.S. participation in regime change in Venezuela. They would much prefer the Venezuelans to do it on their own. Do you think the pressure that Maduro has received will force him to leave on his own?
Oh, I think Maduro is not Fidel Castro. Maduro is not a brave boy. So now that he has understood that he's on that very nefarious list of the terrorist organization, that the airspace above Venezuela has been closed off and the commercial airlines from the United States are not flying, he's understanding that we're about to go in. He understands that he has been our enemy for the last 25 years. Mm-hmm. Venezuela, for those Americans who do not understand why we need to go in, basically for three reasons. You're in Fox Business. Venezuela, for the American oil companies, will be a field day because it will be more than $1 trillion in economic activity. American companies can go in and fix all the oil pipe, the whole oil rigs, and everything that has to do with the Venezuelan petroleum companies, or everything that has to do with oil and the derivatives. So we know, we have information that maybe the top echelon of the military forces in Venezuela may be with Maduro, and they're going to flee with him. But the middle and lower ranks are with the opposition. We're talking about that this is going to be very similar to Panama. That I was there. I was a news reporter, and I remember when the Marines were walking in, and the Panamanian girls were asking them to marry them.
Yeah.
I think it's very similar.
Yeah, no, I remember well. I was there in just after it. It kind of bled into 1990. It started in late December of 1989, bled into 1990. And I went in January, and it was remarkable how receptive the Panamanians were to the change. And it's been a relatively peaceful country since. But the transition. Correct. I mean, Maria is a wonderful woman, the opposition leader. She's fantastic. But how will that transition take place? Will there be a snap election after he flees, or what?
Well, she has and I have spoken to her extensively. They have a 100-day plan that they have shared with the White House. They are prepared. She knows what she's doing. I mean, they have been at this for 25 years. Like I said, 90% of the Venezuelan people, plus the 8 million Venezuelans who have fled, they want to come back. This is going to be a very major success and a success story, not only for them, but for us. And I salute President Trump for having the fortitude, the courage, the political vision to be doing this, because Maduro is the head of a transnational criminal organization.
Yeah.
Maduro is not the legitimate president of the country. So we're not invading a sovereign country that has a free and fair elected democratic president. No, this guy is a thug, and he's good friends with Hezbollah. They are giving uranium to Hamas and to Iran and to North Korea and to Cuba and to Nicaragua. Come on, it's time for the United States to do what we need to do. And thank God that Trump is doing it. And I'm telling you that these people, the Venezuelans, have the largest reserves of oil in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We're talking about this is going to be a windfall for us when it comes to fossil fuels.
Well, and again, it's the actual transition that a lot of Americans are a little wary about because of the fact that regime change always has unintended consequences.
The Maria that she's talking about is Maria Machado, who literally won the Nobel Peace Prize, even though she really shouldn't have. She is the one that literally said Netanyahu should invade Venezuela so that Israel can get the oil, because she is basically a warmonger. It's kind of fucking bullshit that she even won the peace prize. Basically, this motherfucker is like, well, she's not going to be democratically elected. We're just going to put her in, even though the people of Venezuela hasn't elected her. But she told us that she's going to sell us the oil. And I mean, we want that money, so might as well. I've seen time and time again that anytime that CIA or the United States has done these illegal coups, they don't work. It's happened in Iran. It happens in Iraq. It happened in Afghanistan. It doesn't work. Instead, it destabilizes the nations. It causes more harm. It causes more death and destruction. And it causes blowback, which, in my opinion, is what happened a couple of days ago when the National Guardsmen were attacked. The man that allegedly murdered one of the guardsmen and attacked the other one, he worked with the CIA in a group that's called the Zero Unit. I will be doing a separate TikTok discussing about the Zero Unit, but I truly believe that this was a warning about when you allow the CIA and the United States to go into a country to destabilize, to do a coup, that they are going to put people on the ground against their own people, kill, do illegal things. Then the trauma, the harm that they've caused is going to make them go crazy, make them addicted to drugs, and then they come back and do terrorism. We have seen this time and time again. I think there's a connection. I really do. And I think that when Maria Salazar is bragging about how this is all about the oil, not even mentioning really that this is to free the people of Venezuela. It's not even mentioning anything about the cartels. That is the whole reason they're doing this. It's important to acknowledge the United States doesn't fucking care about the people of Venezuela. They just care about the oil. They just care about power. It is all about colonialism. It's all about imperialism. They are saying the quiet part out loud. And I think it's important to acknowledge this. So I'm thankful that Maria Salazar has said the quiet part out loud, because people are not understanding that the United States does not give a fuck about Spanish people. Instead, they just care about the fucking oil.